Hello, how are you? Welcome to day 2 of Kiss Your Struggles, Goodbye, and Create a Life You Love. I've been speaking through Messenger and comments, and I still have some comments to get back to from yesterday. It wasn't working on my phone, and I wasn't at my desk, and I couldn't figure it all out, but I will get back to you. And so welcome to day 2. Drop below. You guys, your comments show up on my other monitor. So if you see me looking over here, it's just I'm looking for you. So welcome. If you're here, drop a hello so I can know that you're hearing me, seeing me, that everything is working. I did this once a while back, either a class or a free offer I had a while back, and I did the whole class and no one heard or seen me. And so I just want to make sure you can see me. So say good morning, good afternoon. It's noon here. In my time zone. So welcome. What time is it for you right now? Are you in Eastern time? What time is it for you? I'm in Eastern time. So yesterday was amazing, and I've spoken to quite a few people, and it's just really powerful to watch your takeaways and to hear your stories, your emotions, and why you're here and what you want to get out. It's just been a beautiful opening up. And in order to make change, you have to become aware. And today is all about, what are your emotions really telling you? Emotions are energy in motion. And emotions can be fun, exciting, or maybe even scary. For me, feeling my emotions I was terrified. I numbed my emotions out for years, so I didn't want to feel. And so they may even be scary. And you might not even know what emotions you are feeling. That happens a lot. Like, you block things out so much in your life that you're not even aware of what you are feeling. Sorry, someone's texting me to get in. Let me just see. Are you in? Lynette, are you here? And so they can be scary and unable to identify. I was a professional fake happy. Anybody a professional at being fake happy? I mean, you put a smile on your face and you're happy for everybody else, but then behind closed doors, you're beating yourself up, you're mad. And I was a professional at that, yes. And so there is an 8-second delay between what I say and what you guys, when the comments come back in. So if you hear me, my nose is itching. And usually when my nose itches, that means angels are present. So know that some angels are present here with us right now. So if I pause, it's because I want to know what your reaction is to the specific question I'm answering. So yesterday was an amazing start. The engagement, the sharing, the conversations, the takeaways have all been amazing. And that is the start of your transformation. I told you yesterday, as you put your words, your thoughts and feelings into words and you express them, you are actually letting the universe know that you are taking this serious. You are wanting to shift. You're wanting to change. And as promised, we have a prize. Woohoo! The prize winner of the 3-day ticket. So I'm offering a 3-day transformational retreat weekend. It's not a weekend, it's during the week. It's the 28th, 29th, and 30th of June. It's really, we dive deep into the chakras. We do a lot of chakra healing. You go over my 7 steps of healing so that you can manifest joy and happiness. And we really dive into releasing the traumas in the past and all of that in these 3 days. And so I'm offering a prize for someone today that was participating. My assistant pulled the prize. So the prize winner is, I just want to get her name right, is Kristen Minister. Kristen Minister, you are the free winner of our 3-day ticket through our 3-day event. So all you have to do is email team@brendakiss.com and you will receive your link to register for our 3-day event completely free. Woohoo! Congratulations. See, participating and taking action creates change in your life. And so, Kristen, awesome work, and all of these that have participated. So Today, let's talk about what's happening to I have to itch my nose so bad, and I don't want to because it doesn't look attractive on the screen, but the angels tickle my nose when they're around. I don't know if anybody else believes in signs and all of that, but usually when my nose itches, it's because angels are here. So if you see me itching my nose throughout the day, know that it's the angels are here today with us. So today is going to be a breakthrough day. Today you're really going to dig into your emotions. So I want you to stay to the end without today's, it's stay to the end, as we're going to be going through a powerful healing process today. So it's important to watch this live from here on out, from start to finish. So without any interruptions, you want to stay completely focused. Remember, play full out. You signed up here for a reason. So give yourself this gift of time to take to take this course and to participate, right? I always say knowledge without action is knowledge. Knowledge with action is transformation. So yes, you can take in all the knowledge in here, but coming to this and doing the transformational work and then taking the stuff that you're learning and continuing to implement it is going to transform your life. So remember, who remembers the fastest way to healing is to what? I'm going to pause here, see if anybody remembers. I said it a few times yesterday, and I really want you to hone in onto this. What is the fastest way to healing? Who remembers from yesterday? Drop below. Drop it in the comments. You got this. Drop it. I'm waiting. Nobody remembers? But I don't remember if you don't remember, or are we just not participating? Which is it? Well, the fastest way to healing is to reconnect with yourself, right? Forgiving yourself, that's one way to reconnect with yourself. Yes. Awesome. And so today, reconnect with yourself. Yes. Thank you. Oh, it is. It's actually longer than 8 seconds, the delay. Okay. Well, today's an opportunity for you to put yourself first, to stop everything around you, put yourself first, heal without talking about your problems. See, so many people like to talk about their problems. And when you talk about a problem, you actually give it energy and you make it grow. So to begin to reconnect with yourself, we get to dive into your emotions today. And I had a client that's in my 12-month program, my Fear to Freedom program, and she was hiding her emotions, all of her true emotions. And she was so nervous about expressing herself, about really standing up for herself, really expressing herself. Can you relate? Well, I shared with her the work that we do together so she was concerned that she was going to have to talk all about her problems. And I said, it's not necessarily true. The challenge with so many modalities out there for healing is this, like, reliving the past and pulling the Band-Aid off the wound, looking at it, and then like, oh gosh, I need a new Band-Aid, right? And so the work that we do together is about identifying where you are, what are you feeling, what is going on, where are you, and where do you want to go, so that you don't have to relive the past, but simply choose to commit to. You don't have to actually relive the past. You can commit now to this process that we're about to go through, and it will help you to release emotions that you've been holding on to for a while. Holding on to emotions is dangerous, and I'll explain to you why. I just forgot to tell you one more free offering that I have for you all is in the media link in the Facebook group is a free chakra chart. So if you want to look at the chakra chart, it's a free download. You can go check it out and see what all the different chakras means and how to help balance them. So I figured I'd give that gift to you as well. So here we are on day 2. For those that are just tuning in, I'm Brenda Kiss. I'm your transformative Neuro Reiki master, helping you release traumas, blocks, and the feelings of needing to do more to be worthy, so that you can kiss your struggles goodbye and create a life you love. I use my KISS method, which brings the power of neuroscience, energy healing, and spirituality together to help you to create a lifelong transformation and change so that you can live in happiness and joy. Who wants lifelong transformation? Put down lifelong. If you want lifelong transformation, drop it below. You know, it's about engaging. It's about recommitting to yourself today. It's so easy to let distractions come into place. It's so easy to show up on day one and then not show up on day two, or show up on day two and start to trickle out. So right now, make the connection, the recommitment to yourself that you are going to stay for the entire 4 days, that you're going to commit. And if you haven't registered for the masterclass, that's a Zoom class. It's going to be on Zoom, not on Facebook, but on Zoom, where you can have interaction, ask me questions and things like that. So you want to make sure to get registered for that. That is an interactive workshop that is for you if you're ready to take a deeper dive into yourself. So let's start today by honoring your classmates, by honoring the other beautiful women here that have showed up, that are participating, that are coming together to make this event, this course, even better, right? Who benefits when other people share? You all benefit from that, because as someone shares something, it reminds you or triggers a thought or something else for you. So doing this as a collective, doing this as a group, as a sisterhood, is powerful. So let's honor everybody that showed up. So right now, I want you to drop a name below as someone you've noticed, or a comment on someone that you saw or said something, or simply just say hello to someone that you see right now. As women, it is so important to honor each other. For so long, we put each other down, but it's so important. It's so important for women to honor each other, to lift each other up. And if you don't have a name in mind, just say something positive and allow whoever to receive what you say. So just say something positive to one of the women here in the group, right? Just say something positive. If you have nothing else to say, allow someone to read something that inspires them. Stepping outside of now, begin now to build these connections. Step outside of your comfort zone. When you step outside of your comfort zone, that's where the magic of transformation happens. You have to do things differently to get different results. So your brain is wired to run the same pattern. See, when you have something something happens, your brain automatically goes, okay, what else? What other part of my brain? Where can I put that? Where's the association? And so we have positive associations and negative associations. And so when you take a step outside of the comfort zone, the brain's like, wait a second, this is new. What's going to happen here? And you start to create new pathways, new thought patterns. If you're stuck in a rut, if you're stuck in the same negative thinking, you get to do something different to change that. So let me see. I love all the comments. That's awesome. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Way to support each other. Like who just feels good by being noticed, by being seen? It's just amazing. And if someone hasn't said your name, it just you don't have to put any other meaning to it except that it just is what it is. So if you haven't been tagged or said something, just say something beautiful and let somebody reply back. So if someone says something beautiful or positive or insightful, we give them a little shout out, give them a like or a reply back, right? Like connect with each other. So to get different results, you have to do things differently. So today we're digging into your emotions. Yes, it may feel uncomfortable. And maybe a bit of resistance shows up. Maybe you're like, I don't want to do this exercise. I don't want to feel my emotions, or this doesn't work. I didn't feel anything, or that's all resistance. See, your subconscious mind will allow you to go through this process with ease and grace as you stay here and you're committed to participating, right? So right now, I want you to remember and drop below what made you show up for this challenge. I mean, why are you here? And it's important to identify the why. It's important to identify what you want, because so many people will do more to get out of pain than they will to move towards pleasure. So if there's not a strong enough why, like a strong enough reason for you to move through processes, to want to create change, guess what? You won't. So what made you die? What made you jump in? You want transformation. Awesome. What do you want transformation? What's causing you to want transformation? You all do deserve results. Yes. So what is it that you want? Why are you here? Transformation. Be specific. We all are awesome. We just made it through bad experience. Let's get stronger. Yes. Your past does not define who you are. Tired of being in the physical pain and being sad and scared all the time. Yeah, so remember that when we go through that process, we go through this process, it's like, oh, even if it's uncomfortable, even if I don't like what she's telling me, even if I don't want to do what she says, I don't want to be in pain anymore. I don't want to be that's bigger than the discomfort here. So you want to allow yourself to step into the exercise, feeling lost and not no purpose in my life, trying to find a source of income to be a better me. I want joy in my life. It's time to move forward. Yes. So you get to go through this exercises today, remembering why you signed up. Remembering why you signed up. That's right. You don't want to worry. You want to have your purpose. There you go. I need to reconnect and understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Oh, awesome. Cool. Yes, tired of not feeling good enough. Yes. So remember, on the other side of this uncomfortable feeling as we dive into these emotions is freedom. Now, I didn't know what that meant until I actually started to live in freedom, but freedom from hurt, freedom from regret, anxiety, negative thinking, not being good enough, not having your feeling lost, freedom of feeling anger or shame. And so even if it gets uncomfortable, know that on the other side of this uncomfortable feeling, you get to move into freedom. So if you're ready, right? Yes, I'm committed. I'm committed to diving in. Yes, I'm giving myself this time to go through this process. Yes, I'm allowing myself to fully be here and be present. Yes, I'm going through this now and I'm giving myself this gift. So drop down below. Yes, I am committed. I'm here. I'm going to make it happen. I'm committed to saying I'm committed to this process. Yes, yes. Look at all your commitments. I love it. Woohoo. You are rock stars. So, the second key to create a life you love is understanding and releasing your emotions. Your emotions are your driving force behind actions. And most emotions sit in the subconscious. Emotions are energy in motion. Everything in the world is made up of energy. And what you're feeling in your subconscious is what you're attracting into your life. Your beliefs, your feelings, your stories are your attraction factor. So if I give you an example of this, remember I just said I was fake happy? So on the inside, I didn't even know I was fake happy. I knew I was upset and I had stinking thinking and woe was me was my story, like why me? Why can't I be happy? I have the perfect life. I have an amazing husband. I have 3 beautiful children. Why can't I be happy? Why can't I just lose this weight? See, I was stuck here. And this was my uncomfortable weight. Like I was stuck in this picture. This is a 9-month transformation. And it wasn't about a diet. It was about releasing the emotions that I was holding on to. Right? When we hold on to emotions, they literally get stuck on us. And they show up as weight, they show up as pain, they show up as dis-ease in the body. And so whatever your subconscious thoughts are, your subconscious beliefs, your subconscious mind runs the show 90% of the time. So January 1st comes, what's the biggest New Year's resolution? Lose weight, right? Like the biggest New Year's resolution is to lose weight. And then that stops within 2 weeks, I believe. I think it's even less than that. That's because everybody's driving. They got willpower. They got willpower. And they're motivated and they got willpower and they're going to make it happen. Well, what happens is that comes from the conscious mind. And the conscious mind can make some change, but it needs To have lifelong transformation, you need to make the change in the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is what does the driving. It steers the ship, right? It drives the car. And so if on the inside you're feeling unworthy, even though you feel like, if I were to look at my life years ago, I had every reason to be happy, and I was happy. I was happy for my family. I was happy for what I had. I was happy for my life, but I wasn't happy about me. And so I had stories and beliefs about me that was creating tension in my relationship, was creating a messy house, was creating codependent relationships, was creating weight gain and weight loss and weight gain. It created an eating disorder. I abused substance for a bit, not in a way, I would say. And, so it was in a way to make me feel comfortable in my body, which is so silly, but true. So the tricky part here is looking at not just the surface feelings that you have, but diving in to see what's the story. What's the emotions that don't feel good, and the stories and belief that cause these emotions, right? Because they get buried by the ego. The ego we need, but we don't need it to keep us from feeling, because every feeling is important and every feeling is here to honor you, or it gets to be honored, I should say. And so when I say the ego, we want to put the ego in check, right? And I don't mean egotistical. I mean the part of the ego that protects you, the ego that tells you don't, like the ego that tells you that my nose is so funny today. The ego that tells you to move away from a moving car, right? Or to eat when you're hungry, or don't put your hand in boiling hot water. We need the ego to survive, but we can release the part of the ego that protects you from your feelings, right? So if something is painful or uncomfortable, the ego will just bury it up, cover it up, so you don't have to deal with it, right? And the ego doesn't want you to feel pain or suffering or hurt. So it literally will bury all your feelings, all your emotions, and create beliefs and stories that keep you in the safe zone. Even if your safe zone is uncomfortable. Because what the ego believes or feels is that the unknown, or the pain, what is buried, can be potentially more painful. So we'll just keep it here and deal with the side effects of burying the emotions. That's what the ego believes, right? So many people will stay in uncomfortable situations, abusive situations, uncomfortable relationships, uncomfortable jobs, uncomfortable feelings about themselves, like sickness and pain, because there's the ego is saying, well, at least this is familiar. We know what this is like. If we go over here, we have no idea what this world's going to bring us. And I don't know if we can handle what this world would bring us if we changed the pain, if we got rid of the suffering, if we got rid of the sadness and the hurt and the guilt and the shame and the regret. If we got rid of all of that and we stepped into happiness, we don't know what that's like. So the ego's like, let's just keep you right here in this moment. You understand? Everybody got that? Write down if you understand. Say, I got this. I get this. It's 8 seconds delay. Seems like a long time when you're presenting. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Good. Okay. So right now, I want you to drop down in below. What are some of the emotions you live in daily? I mean, for me, I used to live in jealousy. Oh my gosh, I was so jealous. Jealous of my friends, jealous of my husband, jealous of his work, his career. I lived in frustration. Oh man, things I would do. That was like every other word. I'm so frustrated. It would come out of my mouth all the time. And victimhood. I lived in that for a long time, and I didn't even realize I was living in that, but I was pointing the fingers at everybody else. And then I realized that's because I'm the victim of this story, right? So if you're pointing your finger at everybody else, this person does this person does this person does this, that means you've given your power over to that person, and now you're a victim. But you can take these scenarios in your life and ask, how can this empower me? How can how can I learn from this situation, and take yourself out of victimhood? So what are your three? What are your three? Fear, resentment. Lately I'm feeling better even about myself. That's awesome. Fear, unwanted sadness. Someone's relating to all the ones I shared. Victim, rejection, fear, not enough. Awesome. Victim, frustration. Yeah. And yeah, like you guys are participating, right? Because the universe will support you in your transformation the more you participate now. The initial moment, or the initial emotions usually isn't the true problem. The ego hides the emotions and the feelings that really need to be worked on. So we're going to jump in today. We're going to work on finding what's the emotion or story underneath that you get to work on, so that you can get rid of it. So I lived in mad frustration and anger, mostly over my weight. Like if you that weight, no matter what size I was, I could be a size 2, a size 12, a size whatever, and I was still unhappy. And I was so unhappy, as I showed you in that picture. But being mad and frustrated and angry, these were emotions that I lived in, but they were surface level. It wasn't until I got present and asked good questions and dug in deeper to my true feelings. Anger is usually a cover up for sadness or hurt or guilt or resentment. And so when I dug in deeper, I was able to find a hidden story, a hidden feeling that was running my life. And that story that I created came from when I was a little girl, and it was still affecting my life as an adult. So, the meaning I gave to the story it became my reality. And so I had a story that was created due to being sexually abused as a child. It was that it's scary to be pretty, and that my abuser at the time would tell me I'm the pretty one and all of this, and I associated pretty with thin. And so even though I was angry and mad and frustrated all the time, my underlining story that created those feelings was an emotion of being scared. I was scared to be myself in my body whole the way I wanted to be. And I created stories around men, that men hurt pretty people, and girly girls, and girls that flirted. So I wanted to hide all of that part of me. So I did it with food. I just hid all of the emotions, right? So I developed a fear of getting hurt, so the ego would protect me by by me holding on to the weight. Your thoughts create emotions. Your emotions create your stories, and which create your reality. So when I didn't express my emotions of feeling scared and hurt, it all got stacked up. And so I learned from a young age that it was not okay to share your feelings and your emotions. And that did not come from my parents. It came from the inability to share what was happening to me, right? And so when these emotions didn't get expressed, oh, I'm feeling them. I'm getting emotional. When these emotions didn't get expressed, they got stacked up, and they literally would store on my body. And then I would release the physical part, but not the emotions. Oh my God, my nose. This is interesting. I wouldn't release the physical part of the I would release the physical part. I wouldn't release the emotional part. So then the weight or the stories or the energy of the emotions, so the weight would come back on. These beliefs, these stories, these emotions were literally taking up resonancy and space in my life and in your life. And when you have this stuff stuck in you, there's no room to create the life you love. You think about road rage. Talk about energy stacking. If someone cut you off in the road, or is and I remember earlier this year I was driving my son to school, and there was 2 lanes, and they were merging into one, and the guy was next to me. I can't quite remember what happened. And we were at a light, and after the light, they merged in. So I just started driving, and he came over and he gave me the finger. And I was like, huh. Like, I had no idea what was happening. And I just thought, like, gosh, that man, it was a man, had so much emotion stuck inside of him that he actually thought, or whatever his experience was with me in the car, gave him so much anger because he already had so much anger inside of him. I was just a trigger to let it out, right? So through my Fear to Freedom transformational program, we really dive into emotions, about releasing the past traumas to help find yourself, to reconnect yourself so that you can start living now. And today we're going to focus on your emotions, where you are, right? So here's what lies the problems. Your emotions drive your actions, and your actions develop habits and rituals and patterns, right? And then we get stuck. Like I feel like I shared this, and I don't remember because I taught 2 private classes yesterday. But if we develop a thought pattern, so say we develop a thought, we have a thought, and it creates a pattern, right? And this is the neuro pathway that it creates with the thought. When we have a thought over repetition, it creates what's called neuroplasticity, and it makes that pattern thick. So the work that we do here is about shifting and opening up the neuroplasticity to create a new pattern. And then you get to nurture that new thought, that new pattern, and you get to build the neuroplasticity in that new pattern, right? So that's what happens when we have emotions that aren't expressed. They create actions and habits and rituals and patterns. And so it creates whatever these feelings are. For me, it was frustrated, overwhelmed, victimhood, fear. Maybe it's stress or guilt or anxiety. Maybe you react a certain way by yelling or crying or drinking or eating. Eating and drinking were mine for sure. And you already have a pattern, a habit for coping. Mine was food and other people's problems. So easy to focus on everybody else. Remember I told you that, being totally disconnected. Let me just help you with your problems. I'll leave my problems buried under here, right? Or, when I would start to feel something, why not just put something in my mouth so I didn't have to feel it and I could focus on food? And so I was an emotional eating. I had an emotional eating disorder. I ate for every feeling: sad, lonely, tired, hungry. Well, I guess hungry, celebration, bored, all of it. Whenever you can imagine, I ate. And so what is your coping habit? I also drank to feel comfortable. I dove into codependent relationships so I can really focus on their problems and not my own. What's your coping mechanism? What do you use? A lot of people use avoidance, isolation, alcohol, drugs, shopping. Not a shopper. Exercise. Oh, I use that one too. I can use exercise to escape and not deal with what's going on. Let me just go exercise. I was an exercise bulimic. Anybody know what that is? That's where you were purged through your exercise. Instead of purging with your mouth, you were purged through your exercise. Maybe you're so focused on your diet that you forget about the other parts of your life. Maybe you hibernate and sleep, social media, taking care of others. I use food for everything. Alcohol to feel comfortable in my body, especially around men and powerful women. That made me feel uncomfortable. What's your habit? What's your coping mechanism? So you have hidden emotions, and then you have your coping mechanism. What is yours? Chocolate. Oh, I like chocolate too. I give too much of myself to others. Drugs, self-isolation. Your angels are with you, and so are we. Thank you for my nose itching. I complain that I'm lonely, but then I isolate myself. Drugs, running away. Yeah, like those are all things to isolate yourself, all your coping mechanisms. Your patterns or your coping habits are your life lessons. I always say this: you aren't to judge yourself for them. There's no judgment here. You cannot make change if you don't recognize what you're doing. So right now you're recognizing what is your coping style. And so it's important to become aware of how they are affecting your life. You know, how is this isolating yourself or running away or other people's problems or drugs? How is that affecting your life? And is that where you want to stay? Yes, I know this can be uncomfortable. And I feel your energy. I feel the willingness to participate and be vulnerable here. And I feel the heaviness of the emotions and the realizations. So you guys are doing really, really awesome. But remember, on the other side of this, it's freedom from all of that. Freedom from all of that. See, you said yes to yourself, right? You said yes to yourself for doing this work. And it reminds me of a client. Her name is, I'm going to keep her name anonymous, but she was so used to being strong and helping everybody else, that she forgot who she was. She forgot who she was. So she was so strong and she couldn't have her emotions. She had to be there and help everybody else. And it cost her happiness and joy. She was so self-aware, but resistance to doing her healing. And as she moved through the Field of Freedom transformational program, she learned to honor herself and honor and to be honored and to have more fun. And she started to reconnect with herself so that she could see who she was. And so you get to do that here. You get to reconnect with some of these uncomfortable feelings so that you can move through them. See, more people will do more to get out of pain than they will to move towards pleasure. And it isn't till you become aware and tuned in into that you will be able to make lifelong transformation. So take a moment now to see how your coping habits are impacting your life, impacting your family, your relationships, your finances, your energy, your decisions, missed opportunities. And what will happen if you stay here? If nothing changes, what would happen? I know for me, it wasn't going to be present with my children, and all I wanted was to be a mom. So you give yourself permission right now to go through this uncomfortable state for the moment. You get to decide today to say yes to you and make a shift now. And you get to decide, or if you want to hold on to it. So what is it? What is it? You want to shift now or hold on to it? It's totally up to you. You get to decide. You get to decide. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I am ready to make a change in my life, 1 being not at all. Where are you? Where are you on that scale? Yes, I'm letting it go. Shift now, shift, yes. I run away from everybody, and you can change your decision now. And somebody says, I have no one, I have no money, and I far away from everyone. So can change those stories. Tell yourself something else now. Shift. Okay, we got some 10s coming in. If you're not a 10, what do you got to tell yourself? 100, 1,000. Awesome. I don't have my glasses on, so I think it's 100. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to stand up. Just stand up real quick and shake that out. Shake it out. Whew. Shake it out. Shake it out. Yes. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. We're going to, let me just open up my notes a little bit more so I can see. So what you're going to do is when you recognize this coping behavior or this pattern, when you recognize it now, I want you to do a funny move and create a funny sound. So let me give you an example. When my kids were younger, nighttime, I would be spent. Like 8 o'clock at night, I was done for the day. I had no more juice in the tank, no more love to give out. And if anybody has kids, they get that, what's called that witching hour, I guess, right? Where they it's bedtime and all of a sudden they got 100% of energy and they're running around. And so every night I have 3 sons. And at the time they shared a 3 bunk bed. And so they were little and they wanted to sleep together. So that room would go crazy. And I would yell and yell and yell and they wouldn't hear me. And I'm like, what is going on? And all I thought about is every night I'm yelling at my kids right before they go to bed. And I did not want to do that. So my coping behavior was yelling. And I wanted to change that because I didn't want to yell at my children. And I still don't want to yell at my children, right? And so I came up, my coach helped me at the time. So when they were all jumping around all over the bed and jumping off the beds, they were like monkeys jumping on the bed. And she was just like, all right, you're going to do this. You're going to put your hand out and you're going to go, stop in the name of love, right? So I created a pattern with my kids that I had to yell really loud and then they would listen, right? So now my new pattern that I was creating instead of yelling was stop in the name of love, right? And they would look at me and then be like, all right, it's time for bed, everybody, right? So I didn't have to yell and they were like, oh, okay. And the pattern began to shift. And I might have had to do that a few times, but that's what we're happening here. We're creating what's called a pattern interrupt. So right now I want you, it could be zippity doo-dah, it could be wild coyote, it could be flabberdoodles, it could be any made up word, it could be a real word that makes you laugh. I have somebody that uses hairy peanuts. I have someone that uses bananas. So they could be words or they could be sounds, but you want to give it a movement with the sound, right? Obviously I won't be able to see your movement, but if it's like zippity doo dah, I kind of like that one. I'm going to take that one for today and use it. So you want to come up with something. You want the brain to get confused here. You want to come up with something that has a sound and emotion. So whatever yours is, whatever it is, just come up with something now. It will come to your mind. You don't overthink this. You could use one that I created, or you can create your own. And I know this sounds super silly, but your brain is programmed to think and feel the way you are right now. And you have exercised this brain, this neuroplasticity for a long time, building thicker and thicker programs. So what I'm asking you to do stops that brain pathway. It jumbles it up, the old behavior, and you now get to begin a new pattern by interrupting it. So, oh my God, that's what I just said. Zippity doo dah, terrific! But put a word, a sound with it. So, what is yours? Drop a Y below if you have yours. If you have the word and you can write it, it's okay. You are going to interrupt your patterns so that you can create new ones, right? So that you can create new ones. So, I need a sip of water. You got yours? Everybody got theirs? Drop a Y if you have it or if you have the word. Okay. So, what is it? I can't see that blabberdash. I don't know. My glasses aren't on. That's hilarious. Okay. Awesome. Good stuff. Love it. You guys rock, 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 rock. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. And I want you to grab a pen and paper if you don't have. And what you're going to do right now is you're going to recall. Everybody got pen and paper? Woo! Yes, pen and paper. You're amused? It does. It changes and it actually changes your energy. He feels better just by doing that, like being silly and having fun. Okay. Here's what you're going to do. I want you to recall the last time you used your coping mechanism. Meaning the last time whatever your coping mechanism, the last time you used it. And now what I want you to do is I want you to do your pattern interrupt. Woohoo! Something silly, whatever it is. Zippity-doo-dah! Right? And now ask yourself, what was I really feeling? What was I really feeling? And just continue to answer them. What was I really feeling? 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 So drop below what you were really feeling. You can take a seat if you're standing. So my pattern interrupt got you thinking of good thoughts. Awesome. So it already did it. That's great. Great, great, great. In pain and scared. That's what you were really feeling. Okay. Fear. Okay. Hurt. Resentment. So here's what you get to do now. Now that you recognize the real fear, the real emotion. Relief, like my life is going to die. Frustration. So what you're going to do right now is unappreciated, unloved. You're going to allow yourself. I mean, you can hold on to these deeper stories, and you continue down your path, or you can take action right now and release these, right? And release these. So just by acknowledging where you are right now gives you permission to release. So I want you to I want you to write down the intensity of this feeling right now. The person that has relief, if this feels good, pick a different emotion you would like to release. Write down the intensity, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. So where are you as an intensity? Like when you think about this, it's like a lot of resentment, number 5. Or if you think about resentment and it's like a 2 or 1 or 2, wherever you are. Oh, you wrote 10. So, okay, so they're pretty up there. Okay. So here's what you get to do right now. You get to close your eyes. Place your feet on the floor. Take a nice deep breath in. And out. Another deep breath in. And out. One more deep breath together, just allowing yourself to be here, feeling what you feel. And out. So right now, I just want you to become aware of what it is or where you notice the feeling in your body of this emotion. It might be heavy, it might be tense, it might be painful. And as you take notice of where it is, notice if it has a color, if it has a shape, if it's smooth or rough, if it's in multiple spots or just one. Notice how it feels, if it's heavy or light or dense or airy or intense or tension or restricted. Notice if it moves or stays in one location, or if it moves within the one location. Notice the temperature of it. Notice the sounds that it carries. And whatever you notice about it, begin to make it smaller now. And the way you make it smaller is by intending it to smaller. Maybe you use a special tool. Whatever comes to your mind now, maybe it's like a lasso and you wrap it around and you pull it tight and you make it smaller. Maybe you break it with a hammer into pieces to make it smaller. Whatever comes to your mind is the right answer. So allow yourself right now to make it smaller. However you get to do that in this moment, allowing yourself to make it smaller. And imagine if you would just allow yourself in this moment to make it smaller. Imagine yourself letting it go. Imagine it getting even smaller. As a matter of fact, as I count down from 10 to 1, it gets so small it's the size of a grain of sand. 10, getting smaller and smaller. 9, that's right. 8, you got this. 7, yes. 6, on your way. 5, smaller and smaller and smaller. 4, allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to make it as small as a grain of sand. 3, 2, and when you get to 1, you'll know whether you blow it out to the universe, you throw it, you cough it, you flick it, whatever feels right. So small now, you can almost barely see it. 1, out to the universe. And as it goes out into the universe, just imagine right now this beautiful white healing light coming down through the top of your head, clearing out any residual left over, down through the top of your head, all the way down through your face, your shoulders, your neck, your back. That's right, allowing it to go down and further, deeper and clearer, moving out whatever is left, part of that emotion or feeling, releasing it now, all the way down through your stomach, your midsection, your hips, all the way down through your legs, your feet, and then it bounces back up, but it goes up even quicker this time because it has already cleared out 99.999, and all you need is that one little tiny piece left now, and it scans up and all the way up through your body, faster, and releases easier than you can imagine. All the way up through the top of your head, all clear, releasing it all. And with this new energy, with this clearing of the old, what's a new story you get to tell yourself today? Or a new emotion you get to live in? So coming back to this moment with your new story or new emotion, opening your eyes and dropping it in the comments. Let's hear, what's your new story? What's your new emotion? 8-second delay. Acceptance. Woohoo. Beautiful. Beautiful. Loving, wonderful person. Awesome. Possibilities. Yes. Yes. So today, I want you to, for your growth work, is I want you to recognize when that old pattern, I'm loved and lovable just as I am, it's true. So true. So for tonight, I want you to recognize when you're using your coping pattern, use your silly movement and word and sound. Ask yourself, what is it I'm really feeling? And allow yourself to move through that process. Allow yourself to honor that. So I know that we rated where this was in intensity before. So if you can rate where the intensity of that old feeling is now, write that down. Trust that it will go. Awesome. I am a great woman. Yes. Positive. Awesome. So write down your new, where the intensity of that old emotion is, and realize that you have the opportunity to go through this process again, as if you want to go back and watch the recording. 2, awesome. Well, you have to write down from where it was to where it is now. I can't tell who's writing who. It doesn't give me names for some reason. Awesome. You see 2s and 3s versus 5s and 10s. Yes, amazing. You guys did amazing work today. Okay, so here's what's happening. 5 to a 3, woohoo, do it again, and you can bring it down more. Yes, 5 to a 1, amazing. 4 to a 2, you guys rock, amazing, good stuff, good stuff. 5 to a 1, yes, amazing. I'm giving you high fives and a hug. You rock, you rock. All right, so today's day 2. I would love to hear your takeaway from today's experience and what you've learned and what you get to do differently. Use your pattern interrupt, your silly movement, to break old patterns. Stay tuned into yourself. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about how your self-talk impacts your life. So come ready to start talking loving thoughts to yourself tomorrow. And I did put out a contest. Let me see if I can come up with something off the fly right now. What can I give away today outside of that? I'll do the clarity call again today. So for the first 3 people, not the first 3 people, I'll put in a hat. So I'll give the people that watched the replay a bonus. For those that want a clarity call and want to have an opportunity to win, I will pull 3 lucky winners today as well. So just write clarity call in the comments, and we will come back and grab your name and then pull 3 lucky winners out of that too. So you won if you got a call. All right. That being said, if you have any questions, there will be a Q&A post coming up. You can drop your questions there. You can always message the BKISS team or team@brendakiss.com. Kristen Minister, please reach out so we can give you your free ticket for the 3-day event. And I love you. Till next time, guys.